Hi, all. Rob Cairns here. I'm the CEO and Chief Creator of Amazing Ideas at StunningDigitalMarketing.com. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Today I wanted to talk about something that's really important. We have a saying in our business called, it's not if you'll be hacked, it's when, and how do you recover. So what I thought I'd do with y'all is give you my broken down strategy on how to protect your business. It's the same one we use in our agency. And you can also apply this strategy to your home life. And I really want to help you. So please take the time to listen to this amazing podcast that's really important. Now, before I move on, many people say, but Rob, you're a marketer. What do you know about security? I spent 22 years in healthcare. I was the lead technician for client services for Sunnybrook Healthcare Sciences Center in Toronto. I also provided end user support, and at the time I lived and breathed security. I still do today. Avoiding the online world is not proactive. Protecting yourself is. Now let's move on to some things that you should do to make yourself more secure. Then we'll move on to our update backup strategy. By doing these things, you'll protect your business and be able to recover if you're hacked. And by the way, as I said, you can apply these same things to your home life, so still take note. Please take the time to get a pen and paper and make some notes. You'll want to keep this episode for reference and keep going back to it because there's a lot of really good nuggets in it to help you at home and with your business. The first big tip is to use a password manager to manage your passwords. Our password manager choice is LastPass, but 1Password and many others work just as well. It has a browser extension that works in all major browsers, Mac, Windows, Linux. It also has versions for the Android and the iOS for smartphones. Do not, and I mean do not, use a book called Passwords to keep track of your passwords. Many people do that with the book right beside the computer, and this is asking for trouble. One reason I do use a password manager is I don't use the same passwords on multiple sites. And frankly, I use very complex passwords. This way the password manager remembers them for me, and I don't have to remember them. And that's a good thing. Now, I also suggest that you turn on two-step authentication. This is really key. Also, do not use your cell phone as a second step via text messaging only. And you might ask why? There's a phenomenon called SIM jacking. What SIM jacking means is the bad guy calls up your cell phone carrier and works their way around so they break down and send him a SIM card. And the reality of doing that is it gives him your SIM card, he plugs it into a phone, he's got your phone number, and then you can have a text sent to your phone number. So that's why I don't suggest using SIM text messaging as a second step. Now there are some cool apps out there under iOS working with Google that does use your cell phone. Those are okay. I actually use what's called the Nuba key. It's a security key that you pre-authenticate. You need this plus the password to get into services, and it works really well. One caveat with Nuba keys, if you're going to use one, get multiple ones. If you lose one or it stops working, you have a backup to get into your accounts. There's also a service called Google Auth. It does basically the same thing and works well. This is the first two steps in helping you minimize what happens if someone tries to hack you. Password manager, two-step authentication. So let us take you through a strategy for Windows 10 machine. We'll talk a little bit about Windows 7, and then we'll take you through our WordPress strategy. Windows strategy. First thing is, if you got Windows 7, the last security fix came out on January 14th of this month. It's now what's known as EOL, or end of life, as we call it for geeks. So what you really need to do is upgrade to Windows 10. And what I'll tell you is Microsoft has left the servers turned on, so you should be able to do a free upgrade, but I can't guarantee it. I know over the last couple of weeks I did somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 14 and I didn't have any issues. So try it. You have nothing to lose. Make sure you keep your software up to date, including web browsers, and they're often updated to protect you from security flaws. Back up your computer on a regular basis. I suggest using 2 external USB hard drives. Frankly, they're very cheap. Keep one on site next to the computer, one off site away from your office. If you need to store it at a friend's, do so, or a colleague's, or at home, or anywhere where your computer is. Just copy your data to these 2 hard drives on a regular basis. Now, if you only want to use one hard drive, you can use a backup service like iDrive, Backblaze, or Carbonite as well. They work really well as well. The big suggestion I have is make sure you have tested the ability to restore files before you need to. Remember, your backup is only good as the ability to restore. Now you might ask, do I really need to keep the backups off-site? The answer is yes, in case of a fire, theft, or other natural disasters. Now this really covers everything I do for backups in this simplified manner except for photos. And what I'm going to do, because photo management and photo backups are different, I'll cover that in the next podcast. So you want to stay tuned for that special episode, because losing photos, frankly, they're priceless. Now let's talk about WordPress websites. At stunningdigitalmarketing.com, we have over 200 websites on WordPress security care plans. We are your security experts. We've been doing this a long time, and we can really help you if you want that help. The following is a protocol that we use to back up and secure websites and minimize the chance that they may not be hacked. First thing is, choose your web host very carefully. Our web host of choice these days is SiteGround. Have been with them for 3 or 4 years. Some other good choices are Canista, Cloudways, WP Engine, and a few others. Frankly, stay away from GoDaddy 1&1 or anything EIG Endurance International Group owns, touches, or is near. They're not really good to deal with. And even things like Securi, which is now GoDaddy owned, has gone downhill. Managed WP for managing sites, which is GoDaddy owned, has gone downhill, and so on. Remember, your web host is part of your WordPress security solution. For agency, we do the following. Never use WordAdmin as a user ID. Turn on 2-step authentication to log into your WordPress site. Change the WordPress backend login URL. Change the WordPress salts. Force complex passwords for any admin account. And frankly, we do manual malware scans of all websites that we maintain on a regular basis. What is in our backup strategy? We back up every site we maintain once a day at minimum. Weekly, we store the website backup for the week on an external storage drive and keep these backups for 3 months. The reason for that is sometimes you got to go back a while to get rid of the vulnerability that's been installed. Many times the vulnerability will be installed months before and then activated at a later date. We then run plugin updates for the site after our backup is done. At the same time, we do WordPress core updates and theme updates. And we test the websites to make sure they function after being updated. The reason for software updates is they contain feature and security updates, so do them regularly. If a major theme plugin or core update comes out before our regular scheduled day of doing updates, we do them anyway and right away, because they usually have security fixes in them. The problem is, if you don't, then the script kiddies write the scripts and the vulnerabilities are known in the wild and your site could be vulnerable. So get them done as soon as you can. Now, once again, I need to remind you to test your backups by doing a restore to a test domain before you really need to use them. And that's so key. The ability of the backup working is only as good as the ability to restore the data. I hope these strategies help you make your business more secure. If we can help you in any way, including taking over your backup process, please email us at vip@stunningdigitalmarketing.com. To be very frank, what we found is many small business owners say, I get all this stuff, but they don't have time to do it. Frankly, for a nominal fee, we'd be glad to do it for you. We're not really expensive, and it's worth every dime to protect your online presence. In the next episode of the SDM show, we'll be talking about our solution for backing up your photo collection. And stay tuned for that. I think you'll enjoy it, and I'll talk about some management tips to manage it as well. As always, this podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, make your business succeed. Ciao for now.